This is Hindsight Radio.
I represent it.
The information station changing the nation.
We're going to talk about heart disease and clogged arteries, congestive heart failure, some of the things that doctors, diagnose people with. What's the truth about that? But first, introduce yourself and your show. Your last time, and you have to forgive me, I forgot to even ask you to do that.
My name is Dr. Jennifer Daniels. I have a podcast, Healing with Dr. Daniels, and it airs 10 a.m. Every Sunday on Vimeo and on Facebook and on YouTube.
All right, there you go. That's Dr. Jennifer Daniels. I think by now a lot of people are familiar with your story. I am.
Well, we should just briefly, I think we can just briefly run through it. Basically, I attended medical school, became board certified in family practice, had a private cash practice for 10 years, and ultimately realized that what I was taught in medical school is actually killing people. I then started using natural methods, comparing them head to head with what I learned in medical school. Each time the natural methods turned out to be safer and more effective. And so now I just 100% advocate natural methods. And I'm most famous for introducing turpentine for healing, or reintroducing it. It was used very widely.
Yeah, bringing it back.
Bringing it back. Bringing it back.
Now, this is a question I've never got to ask you. What year, at what point, and what year was a turning point for you when you said the medical remedies are not working or they were harmful?
Well, I noticed they weren't working in medical school. That was like off of that.
Okay, so this is like...
I went to the dean and I said, you guys got to do better than this. I went to the dean at the end of the first semester and said, whoa, you guys, you got to up your game.
Okay.
So I noticed they were ineffective, but I was given the excuse that more research was coming. And I had to say, excuse me, you guys have had at least 40 years of research. It's the best you can do. But I said, okay, there are better researchers, more research coming. So that addressed temporarily, put a Band-Aid over the direct observation that nothing was good. Then when I got in medical practice, my own private practice, I was solo practice. That means I saw patients during the day, I took my own call at night. So I saw the whole cycle. Write the prescription at 10 a.m., get the distress phone call at 2 a.m. Boom. And nowadays, doctors are in group practices. So they write the prescription at 10 a.m. and a different doctor gets a 2 a.m. phone call and doesn't realize it's related to the 10 a.m. prescription that was written. So because now things are so fragmented and distorted, you don't get that perspective.
Right.
But I had that perspective. So the other thing too was I was only one person, which meant I had to get my sleep at night. So anytime a drug woke me up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., didn't write that prescription anymore. And even though I was solo practice, took my own call, after 2 to 3 years of medical practice, I slept like a baby. Nobody called me in the middle of the night in distress because I was not writing those daytime prescriptions that caused the nighttime distress. And I thought I was just being conscientious. But the turning point, the absolute, oh my God, point was in, I would say about 1993-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1993. That was it. Yeah, 92, 93. I've been in practice now for 2 years, and I said, okay, fine. I'm going to really, really improve my effectiveness. I'm going to review the charts of every single person who died and see how I can improve what I'm doing. And I was already pretty conscientious, If I didn't understand the person's problem, I would say, wait, I will get back to you. And every 2 weeks, I went to the medical library for several hours to look up every single thing I had questions about.
Mm-hmm.
And I would send people to the specialist to make sure that everything was perfect just the way it should be and absolutely best it could be according to the standard of care.
Mm-hmm.
So But I still wanted to do better because, people were dying. Not very many, but they were dying. Maybe 3 a year, which is not much for a family practice. So I reviewed all the charts of the people who died. And without exception, they kept their appointments, they took their medicines, they were fully diagnosed, they had every test under the sun done, they'd seen the specialist, and they were following the standard of care to a T. All the patients who were non-compliant, skipped their appointments, didn't take their drugs, didn't show up for whatever, no deaths. So, oh my God. Could it be that the standard of care properly applied is killing people? And I just eventually went into an emotional funk. And it took me about 3 months of sleepless nights to figure out a solution to this because I was making pretty good money.
Right.
In a bad year, I made $135,000. In a good year, $200,000.
Right.
And that was in the '90s when that kind of money, was really
something. Right. Yeah.
So that was more money than surgeons made back then. That's how much money it was.
Mm-hmm.
And to walk away from that was, a way that I could just.
How was you going to supplement?
Not kill people.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying not kill people and still make this money.
Right.
And so that's when I gave people a choice of standard care, doing nothing, lifestyle changes, supplements, cleansing. So it's all your choices. What do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I also told them, here's a prescription for medication. It's the standard of care. If you get any side effects at all, stop the medicine and give me a call.
Mm-hmm.
When I did that, the death rate in the medical practice went to zero. Zero.
So that was definite.
And that for me was proof positive.
Yeah. Right.
Proof positive. I said, oh my God. Then at that point, I thought, well, the standard of care is simply harmful, right? That's it, it's harmful. But you can decide if you weren't going to do it. And then when they took my license away, I realized, oh my God, they took my license because I refused to kill people.
Right.
That was actually my job. I was a professional killer, trained and certified by the government.
He was there.
And then when I realized that,
he was their drug dealer. You stopped making the money. That's the whole thing.
No, I was worse than a drug dealer. My job was to deliver the dead bodies. I mean, you gotta get this picture. It was my job literally to kill people. And so when they took my license and I realized that, I said, oh, well, I don't need I don't want my license back because I don't want to kill people. So that's the end of that.
Right.
But there was no way to communicate that to my many supporters, my sad and heartbroken,
Now, when you
patients and whatever.
When you were going through that, were you married at the time?
No.
No. Okay. All right. I was thinking, that.
And I believe that made it easier to go through because when you have a spouse. Let's say I would have a working spouse. Maybe let's say my spouse had a job.
Mm-hmm.
They could harass him at work. They could threaten our second income.
Right.
And then my spouse would put pressure on me.
Right.
Or so they could put pressure on me through my spouse. So because I didn't have a spouse, there was no lever for control.
Right.
And I was free to just do what I thought was right. I didn't have any modifier things. I didn't have to, I don't want him to suffer, or
right.
Oh my God, I can't believe what they did to him, or something like that.
Okay, so that did make it easier because I know when some people want to make changes or do changes, but because of their family structure and the retaliation, they won't move forward, and that's
correct. Absolutely. Like I was involved in a banking issue where a local bank wouldn't let me money for my practice. Was redlining a neighborhood and not making loans for houses.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually denied me a loan to build a house, even though I had $90,000 balance in their bank.
Yeah, that's
because I wanted to build a house in the ghetto.
Right.
Well, you can know I was not happy about that. So
They should have
at
denied
the same time, the committee.
They had the income, so yeah.
No, they denied everything. They denied this. We're not lending money for a house in that neighborhood. That's crazy. So a local community was organizing against the bank to prevent the bank from merging with another bank.
Mm-hmm.
And so I joined that merger movement.
Mm-hmm.
Unbeknownst to me, the Federal Reserve of New York had said all the people in this community group have to vote unanimously in favor of any agreement.
Mm.
So everybody else in the group was married or had a significant other they were living with.
Mm-hmm.
And the bank harassed the significant other with job loss, foreclosure on their mortgages, their cars, and everything. So what ultimately happened was everyone voted to allow the merger, and I was the only standout vote.
Mm-hmm.
I was the one dissenting vote. And because of that, the bank came back 3 weeks later, agreeing to all the terms and everything, agreeing to stop discriminating, blah, 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 blah. And it was a big famous thing. It was the first time ever that a community group had successfully stood up to a bank. And the Wall Street Journal wrote an article about it. It was huge. And, you know, that to me was a real lesson, how they, you know, get into your whole family structure. Obviously, they had private detectives investigating every single
they got
person.
watching and listening. Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying they spent a lot of money and a lot of time on this.
Yeah. Yeah, they send people in to infiltrate, to gather information, look for weak points.
Oh no, we were definitely infiltrated. There was no question. Our leader was a bank sympathizer. Oh no, we were totally. There was no question we were infiltrated.
Right.
But because the Federal Reserve said the vote had to be unanimous, the infiltration was not successful because unfortunately I happened to be in the group.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's around the time when you went to medical school.
No, that was 92. I was out of medical school.
I'm talking about prior to that, like when you went to medical school, when you became a doctor.
79 to 83.
Right. That's a big time when AIDS was starting to become a buzzword.
They launched it.
Yeah. And
AIDS.
I remember AIDS.
When I was in medical school, it was 82. I was getting ready to graduate. Yes, I remember. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I was getting ready to graduate and they said, oh, by the way, deadly AIDS, it's here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been through all the basic science, the understanding of the principles of laboratory testing, the principles of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time of graduation, there's absolutely no evidence of the existence of AIDS. None. They launched the epidemic without any evidence that the disease existed.
I remember.
Now, the other thing, if you go back in history, 83, what's the definition of AIDS? Definition of AIDS, T cell count and a rash. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it, the whole definition.
Right.
Now, the definition of AIDS, I guess 3 or 4 paragraphs. They're making it up as they go along.
Right. Yeah. Now, I remember when I first heard about it, I probably would maybe at that time headed into junior high school, right prior to junior high school. I'm trying to think. But I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness, so I don't practice anymore, just be clear. It was 2 elders talking about it because they read about it, heard about it, and we were out. You know how Jehovah's Witnesses do, they knock on doors. We were out in what we call and they were talking about it, how it's killing homosexual men. This was the thing. And then I think after that I heard it had to do with some monkeys. And just ridiculous thing after it just came up with all kinds of scenarios on why AIDS is a killer amongst just the homosexual.
Why? Yeah, right.
But just thinking about it, it made you it changed the dynamics of your view of sexual activity when you just hearing.
That's what it was designed to do. That's all it was designed to do. I went through 10 years of celibacy over that. I said, oh, no, we won't be doing that. I don't think so. Oh, no.
And people are still
I believe.
programmed, believing in this thing.
That's because they haven't looked for the evidence. They have not looked for the evidence.
So
And they've not looked for the evidence. So first of all, if everything is said about AIDS was true
right.
in 1979, what would things look like now? Well, if it's a contagious disease and it's incurable, you would expect the people who have AIDS to grow, right?
It hasn't grown.
You would expect the death rate from AIDS to increase.
Right.
It has just leveled out. It's been level for decades.
Right.
So what does that tell you? One, it's not deadly, and two, it's not contagious.
Right.
But in case that's not enough evidence for you, let's look at what the government says. Do you know if you're HIV positive, I'm HIV negative, how many times? Well, they did it the other way around. If I'm a woman and I'm HIV positive, and you're a guy, you're HIV negative, how many times do I need to have sex with you for you to get the disease?
Based on my understanding, they say it's difficult for a man to get it from a woman. That's the rumor. Or
no. Give me a number. Give me a number.
Give you a number. Based on their say, you want maybe 3 times for you to contract it.
4,000. 4,000.
What?
I can't even give it to you in a 10-year marriage. How many times do married couples have sex?
Right. Oh.
So well, what I'm trying to say is, it is not sexually transmitted. Hey, over 10 years, things are bound to level off, right?
Right.
So let's say an average of sex once a day for 10 years. You still couldn't transmit it.
Right. So
if you can't transmit it by having sex 4,000 times, first of all, let's look at this. If I have to have sex with you 4,000 times to give you AIDS, then a clear strategy is promiscuity, right? Don't have sex with anyone more than 10 times. Oh, no AIDS. But what do they tell you? Promiscuity causes AIDS. It can't possibly, if you need to have sex with the same person 4,000 times in order to get the disease. In fact, promiscuity would be the cure.
Right.
Nobody would get it. I'm sorry, dude. We've had sex 10 times. You got to move on.
Oh.
I ain't getting no AIDS. So what's the frequency of AIDS in the United States? If you test everyone in the United States for AIDS, and they've done this secretly, they just randomly tested people who didn't know they were being tested for AIDS. How many people have AIDS? 1 in how many?
I don't know the number.
Okay, I'll tell you the number. See, I look into all this. So if you don't look into all this, then you live a life full of fear, and you're constantly being controlled. So you can only transmit it sexually at a rate of 1 in 4,000.
Right.
The rate of infectivity by the testing is 1 in 250. Whoa, back up. 90% of AIDS can't possibly be sexually transmitted, right? Because if everyone in the United States got exposed to AIDS, only 1 in 4,000 would have it. You with me?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So where the other cases coming from?
If you ask me, I think they're making the numbers up. They're just, we got to get.
No. Maybe they're making it up. Maybe they are. But that's not the point. The point is, if we believe the numbers are internally contradictory and do not comport with the recommended policies. So if you look at the numbers they're giving you, let's just take it as true. Like, hey, who am I? Not my research. It's the government numbers, right? Let's go with government numbers and World Health Organization numbers. And they looked at prostitutes who are HIV positive, and they had to screw 4,000 Johns to give 1 John AIDS. Okay, so if you look at these numbers, then the numbers do not support the policies. If you look at these numbers and you believe these numbers, then the numbers say don't use a condom, be promiscuous, and you will not get AIDS.
Right.
The last thing you want to do to prevent AIDS is get one partner and be loyal. The last thing you want to do.
The statement you just made, they looked at prostitutes and they said they have that 4,000 times. Now, here's my question.
Right.
How do they know the prostitute gave him AIDS? Who's testing after you?
No. We're going to believe everything. Yeah, so when people are lying to you, you have these inconsistencies.
Right.
And that's how you get at the truth. You say, okay, you know what? I'm going to believe you. I'm going to believe everything you tell me. And let's see where it leads. and it leads to the exact opposite of what their policies are. So obviously the policies are not designed to prevent the transmission of AIDS. The policies are designed to simply control your sexual habits.
Keep you, yeah, right.
Now, so I was celibate for 10 years. Ordinarily, that would mean I basically sterilized myself, right? Because I was celibate from age 30 to 40. But I had 3 kids during that period.
Right.
I had them by artificial insemination. So, okay, all right, we got it. I'm still having my kids. I'm not getting AIDS, but I'm having my kids. And so most people are not that determined and not that focused. Right. I have my life plan laid out. I'm having 6 kids, and that's it. All right, I got the AIDS thing, no problem. Artificial insemination. Okay, we got this.
Okay, got it. So now that we established, okay, where can people go to get that type of information you just mentioned, talked about?
So the World Health Organization, HIV/AIDS, transmissibility in prostitutes in Africa.
Okay.
Everyone in Africa got AIDS, right? So I mean, you can't transmit it there. You can't transmit it anywhere. Now, the other thing to look at is the United States, then go to the US and say, what is the frequency of AIDS in the United States? What percent of US citizens have AIDS? And they'll tell you 1 in 250. So let's do the math. Let's see. I did the math before. I've done so many shows on this. It's like AIDS, a truth too big to ignore.
Okay, that's the show to listen to?
Yeah, it's shocking.
Okay,
so only 1 person in 16 who has AIDS could have possibly gotten it sexually.
Mm-hmm.
Only 1 in 16 could possibly have gotten it sexually.
Right.
Because if you have an HIV positive person who has sex with everybody in the United States, only 1 in 4,000 will get it. Another way to look at it, if everyone in the United States is exposed to AIDS sexually, then only 1 in 4,000 is going to get it. But wait, the test is positive in 1 in 250. How do the other 15 people per 4,000 get this?
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at percentages, people like that.
No.
So 94% of people who have AIDS could not possibly have gotten it sexually. Let's open the discussion. How did they get it? I'll be honest with you, I don't know, and I can go 1 step further. I don't care. The point is, the sexual policies as a way of controlling AIDS makes no sense since 94% of people did not get it sexually.
Right.
So that's the point. Is AIDS out there? Yes. Okay, well, let's just say it is. Again, I don't even bother to question people. Are you telling me the truth or not? Mm-hmm. I'll just believe what you say. My mother would laugh. Yeah, you'll believe anything. I said, yes, I will. Mm-hmm. I'm going to believe it, do the math, figure it out, and then say, okay, fine. Where does this lead us? So if we believe that 1 in 250 people have AIDS, and you can only get it sexually 1 in 4,000, then what? 94% is not sexually spread. So my sexual behavior in no way should be governed by AIDS. The next thing, let's take a look at people who are HIV positive. Take a look at their partners who are HIV negative. Mm-hmm. Over the course of a year, what percent of those partners develop AIDS? I had this number, but I don't remember it. But the point is, it's less than 1 in 250.
Right.
So the best protection against AIDS is to have sex with an HIV positive partner, right? That's what the numbers say.
Yeah, because it's a 1 in 4,000 chance. Right.
Yeah. That's if you're having sex with someone who's HIV positive. But if you're just living your life, chances are 1 in 250. Well, we go find an HIV positive partner. I'm just talking about if you make your decision based on logic and the numbers.
Right, the numbers. That would be more logical step.
Exactly, but the policies are exact opposite. HIV positive people are pariahs. So maybe, let's put it this way. You can get an HIV positive test, but you can't get it by sex.
Right. So maybe it's the vaccines. Maybe it's lifestyle, eating. Who knows?
Exactly. But wait, let's see, what is it? There's a question. What's AIDS? So you look at the definition for AIDS, you see how it's evolved over the years.
Right.
And you see it's not a disease at all, it's a political tool.
Right.
So you, the public, got in on the disease 2 years after they discovered it. So what did they discover? Well, homosexual men had it. Jewish people taking chemotherapy had it. Well, wait, back up.
Wait.
What happens to Jewish people taking chemotherapy? How come the public wasn't told about that group?
Well, nobody said anything about that.
Well, you didn't hear anything about it. I mean, in medical school, they told us about it. All of a sudden, they just evaporated. It wasn't mentioned anymore.
When you said that, that make what AIDS is the acronym for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome, right? So
Right. Acquired.
I'm just using my logical mind now. So if you got Jewish people who are taking chemotherapy, which is known to compromise the immune system, then
that wasn't believed to be the case back then.
So then we're talking about maybe the chemotherapy is what's causing the problem. It's just a thought.
Exactly. So I'm trying to say it's a political decision that you're going to characterize a decision in terms of white male homosexuals and not white Jewish people on chemotherapy. That was a political decision, not a scientific decision.
Gotcha, I got you.
Now, the next political decision. So you got to separate a political decision from a scientific decision. And so there was no scientific decision that one group had more of a risk than the other group. So why do we focus on this demographic as their personal habits causing it? And if personal habits cause this, then why wasn't the chemotherapy a cause in the white Jewish males, as opposed to the sex in the homosexuals? And so they built this emotional trigger of a disease to create control over people's sexual habits, to get people to sterilize themselves by abstaining from sex.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, a condom has a 10% per year failure rate.
Mm-hmm.
If you're using a strainer whose holes are bigger than the rocks you're trying to strain, it's ineffective. What does that mean? If the failure rate of 10% is greater than the frequency of the disease in the population, then that method cannot prevent the disease.
Right.
Because that disease, the frequency is so small, it's just going to slip through the failure rate.
A lot of people don't know what you just said, or might not have caught what you just said about condoms. That
they don't get it, right? So using a condom with a 10% failure rate cannot prevent a disease with an incidence of less than 0.5%,
right?
Which is 1 in 250, right? Mm-hmm. So what they're trying to do then is totally control and dominate the discussion of sexual habits.
Right.
They want people to not have sex. They want people to use condoms. They want people to all these sexual behaviors built up around the so-called AIDS, we'll call it situation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Cannot control the epidemic. We know that because of the numbers they gave us.
Mm-hmm.
Their numbers tell us that the advice they're giving us has no chance of controlling the situation. And
most people have a problem listening to what you just said because they don't read for themselves. They won't.
No. It takes a tremendous amount of mathematical skill. The numbers are so friggin' small, you got to get into serious decimal places. Like I had to go out 3, 6, 9 decimal places a lot of times. Oh. You got to keep your decimal points straight. It can get confusing.
Okay.
Easy. This ain't 4th grade math. This is
Okay.
No, most of life's problems can be solved with 4th grade math. But when people are trying to lie to you and pull stuff over your eyes, they go a little higher on the math.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Because most people's strong point is not math. Okay, heart disease. Go to the doctor. They always want to. Oh, do you have any heart disease in your family? And who died of a heart this and that? They kind of give you a heart problem based on your genetics, or say you're.
Right.
What's the truth about it? But how much truth is there?
Truth about it is your heart disease risk has just about zero to do. I won't say risk. Your heart disease reality, whether you have it or not, has nothing to do with your relatives. Nothing, whatever.
Okay.
It's totally your lifestyle. In other words, whether or not you have a heart attack is on you.
Okay. So let me understand what you just said. So it's not my genetics, it's my lifestyle. So most people who live in the same house share the same lifestyle as far as eating habits. They kind of do the same thing.
Many habits. They have many habits they share.
Right, that they share. So it's really their lifestyle. Okay, got you. So it's not genetics.
Same with type 2 diabetes. For example, my brother has diabetes. My sister has diabetes. Both my grandparents have diabetes.
Mhm.
Are you with me?
I'm with you.
I don't have diabetes. I'm not going to get it.
So yes, their lifestyle.
Statistically, family history-wise, I would have diabetes. I'm 62. I should have diabetes, but I don't have it. I ain't getting it.
Mhm. Because you don't share the same lifestyle, right?
Not at all.
So,
I
okay.
don't even live in the same country.
Oh, that's
I got as far away from the lifestyles I could possibly get.
So are you suggesting we should leave?
No, maybe you should leave your household. If
Right.
you have a family history of diabetes, definitely don't go to family reunions and family celebrations. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
You might want to move out of the city where your family is living and develop your own lifestyle.
Right. Okay. I was just kidding. We all know that,
The United States is a very big place, and there are wonderful places you can live in the United States.
yeah.
It's a very big place. Not every place is New York City.
Right. Yeah. That's why.
Although you leave the United States, everyone's, oh, are you from New York City? Oh, you must be from New York City.
Okay. So basically, heart disease. So how does one heart start to give them problems? Heart disease. Like one is they
Processed foods, constipation, and dehydration. That's it. Processed foods, constipation, and dehydration. That's it.
Wow. So stop eating processed food,
Simple.
drink some
Super
more
simple.
water, and
And
go to the bathroom. Period. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Simple.
congestive heart failure. My daughter's mom, she went to the doctor when she was pregnant. This was many years ago. My daughter's will be 13 next month. And they said to her, amongst other things, they said to her
Yeah.
she had congestive heart failure. Well, 13, 14 years ago. Then they said, oh, you might want to think about abortion because you have diabetes, your number's been out of control, and your child will end up
Exactly.
with problems.
The whole purpose of prenatal care is to counsel the woman again and again to get an abortion. That is the whole purpose of prenatal care. At every point, they do a test. The test is to help you decide to abort the baby. Chorionic villus sampling at 7 to 14 weeks is to determine if you have a birth defect in the baby. Would you like to abort? Amniocentesis at 16 weeks. Determine, would you like to abort? Everything is, would you like to abort? Would you like to abort? So if you want to have a healthy baby, the last thing you should do is prenatal care.
Wow. And basically, although she delivered our daughter she was premature, but my daughter's a straight A student since she's been in school, and she doesn't get sick.
No. Did she have a C-section or no?
She had a C-section. She did have.
Whoa. Your daughter was not premature. They created the prematurity. They scheduled that C-section, created the prematurity. Number one cause of infant mortality. They nearly killed your daughter. In fact, they do that so many times that is the number one cause of infant mortality. There are states that passed laws, say Medicaid, the health care for the poor, will not pay for scheduled C-sections. The doctor may not schedule a C-section because they always schedule a C-section and create prematurity. So you can only do a C-section once the lady has naturally gone into labor on her own.
Now, they did the C-section because she had some...
No, bullshit.
Said she was about to die, all kinds of...
Yeah. Go talk to the priest about it. You treat a doctor like he's a priest. It's all faith. There's no evidence that any of this stuff they do is healthy. In fact, it's unhealthy. That's why the states have passed laws refusing to pay doctors for C-sections done when the lady did not go into labor on her own. Right.
But granted to say she survived it, and she's going to be 13 next month, straight A student.
Exactly. She did just that. She survived.
This is when she
Straight
was
A student, that's not necessarily good.
Now, when she was very young, we had this one doctor, and she stayed with an infection or some type of infection, coughs and asthma, all kind of things. And I got into.
You were feeding her dairy.
Yes, that's true. She was drinking milk.
Stop the dairy, no more ear infections.
Well, we stopped that. But I got into it with the doctor one time, and I took her away from that doctor. We stopped taking to the doctor, and I switched doctors. She might have seen this doctor literally in the last 7 years twice.
Correct.
Not on any medications, nothing. The asthma disappeared, that she claimed she had. And she hasn't been sick.
Correct.
At all. Like, she gets a little thing here and there. But I remember one time we went to the doctor, like a emergency care room, and the guy tested her nostril for flu symptoms. Oh, she's got the flu. But this medicine costs $350. I'm self-employed, no insurance, so I paid.
So you said the heck with it.
I said no, I didn't get it. So I took a 3-hour drive to my place. This is at the time I was living 3 hours away. I took her with me, and I mixed up a little concoction and with the little turpentine in it. The next day, she was running around the apartment.
Just fine. Now, that brings up the question. What was the purpose of that test? He did a quick test nasal swab, which does not detect the virus at all. It's an antibody test.
Right.
All it does is help him sell more drugs. The false positive rate is through the roof.
Right. And she was better less than 24 hours later, literally.
Correct. She would not have gotten better that quick with the medicine.
Right.
I know, because I prescribed the medicine back in the 90s.
Like, I was always leery of the doctors, but when that happened with her doctor's experience from before and the whole flu situation, when that happened, that told me right there that there's something wrong with this industry and their diagnosis.
Okay, so you're really narrow. Okay, let's expand on your lesson.
Right.
The industry is not designed to heal or cure. Or in any way assist. It's designed to harm and kill. That's it. If you want to live, there's no reason to engage the industry. If you're ready to die, sure, go ahead, sign up and make a point.
Go right. All right.
That's what my father used to say. How he said, doctors that just murder, just kill people. You ready? Don't go to the hospital unless you're ready to die. Mm-hmm. He said that so many times as a kid. That when I grew up and had my own kids, I just made my mind. We're not doing that.
Yeah. They were because they were really on a campaign to get men to go to the doctor through prostate exams and stuff like that. Oh, black men don't go.
Exactly. We were in medical school. In medical school, they said, we have a problem. Men are not going to the doctor every single year. Men are not being obedient and doing what the doctor says. We've got the women roped in with prenatal care and that annual counseling. We got them roped in. Okay, they're solid. Got that nailed down. But we need to get the men in. We need to give the men a reason to go every year. And then they literally invented the prostates. It's nonsense. It right there, under my nose, while I was in medical school. Just invented it.
Wow.
1979 when I entered, it didn't exist. 83 when I left, men needed annual prostate exams. Mm-hmm. Boom, created it. Like the advertising guy creates a need for Pop-Tarts or something.
Congestive heart failure, what is that? Is that, because that's what they were trying to say she had.
It's malnutrition. So the overnight cure for congestive heart failure is no dairy, no meat. Basically an unprocessed vegan diet. Oh. You eat your beans, fries, and vegetables, and a little bit of salad, and as much water as you want. Boom, 1 week you're cured.
Okay. Now, clogged arteries.
I know it because I saw it in front of my eyes.
This is my father had.
Clogged arteries are bull. No. Let's cut to the chase here. Your arteries clog gradually over time. As they clog, your body builds new arteries to go around the clog. So 100% blockage is totally harmless because your body has already constructed collaterals to go around it.
Mm. Wow. And it, that's the first time I heard what you said.
No one tells you that, huh?
Oh, my father had quadruple bypass surgery, some years back. Now he's on this
Oh
medical.
yeah, moneymaker. Ka-ching. Oh, absolutely. And he's happy to do it. By God, he's got equality. He's got the quality of care that white folks get. He's happy.
Now,
that's what the civil rights movement was all about. Once the civil rights movement came into play, Black people trusted the doctor and they trusted the teacher. Before that, Blacks, even in my own family, get whatever grades you want. You ain't getting no job anyway. Don't matter what the teacher says. She ain't doing nothing for you. That stuff they teaching you ain't important. If it's important, they wouldn't be teaching it to you. So that was the pre-civil rights posture. The post-civil rights posture, you better go to school and get grades. You better do what the teacher says. And so Black families totally gave up their authority to the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, oh, she gets straight A's. I'm surprised. It's too bad. I wish she got straight D's. She probably had a better chance for success.
Yeah, I get worried.
Sorry to hear that.
I try to offset the education.
No, you need to tell her. No. Tell her.
Yeah.
Your grades don't matter.
I said, listen, you're going to the studio, you're just listening to what they say just to get the good grades. Those lessons there are not going to teach you how to live. Period.
No. You're back. You're already. They're teaching you a bunch of lies. You believe that shit. That. You ain't never gonna have nothing. You ain't gonna have no man. You ain't gonna have no family. You ain't gonna have no job, and you ain't gonna have no health. So everything they're teaching you in school is wrong. Just telling you right now. Because if it was the truth, they wouldn't be teaching it to you. That's what you need to tell them.
When you think about it, when you really, really think about it, I know a lot of people with high education, PhDs, and I was working right alongside them in like Walmart and bookstores and stuff like that. And they were saddled with huge amounts of debt. Life wasn't going great for them. I'm like, and then they'll say, oh, things are not great. And then in the next conversation, they'll say, or the next sentence, they'll say, well, I have a degree or a PhD. Like that really did something for them. And I'm saying to myself,
you're setting your daughter up for that by praising her A's.
Right. I don't have
you're setting her up for that. You're setting her up for not respecting you.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You need to tell her a D average will make you rich. Right now, you're going to poverty. Right now, you're on track to be $200,000 in debt at 26 with no way to repay it. That's the track you're on now.
Mm-hmm. Or getting a job and waiting for that one check at your retirement.
No, but she's going to get a job. It's not going to pay her enough to even pay the interest on her educational loans. Because if you're self-employed, you're working way too hard for your money and wasting on a college education.
Right.
You'll do better if you want to tell her about college. Honey, you can go if you want, and you paying for it. I'm not.
Well, I'm encouraging her to do her own business, find something.
No. You need to tell her it's her job to not take out loans, live within her means. If she want to go to college, pay cash as she goes. If she wants to go. Right. Now, I'll tell you what will happen if you tell her that. She'll figure out the only way to earn that kind of money is her own business.
Right.
But if you hand her the answer, she's going to say, oh, Dad, forget you. Why? I can tell you right now. Because she's got an A in school. She's listening to the teachers, not you. You don't count. In fact, she come home after school and do homework and say, Dad, sorry, I can't do my chores, do my homework now. Mm. You're like, oh, that teacher feeding you? You better do your chores first and get your homework when you can. Now, so you're creating a situation, you're setting her up to be an educated, exploited, slave idiot.
Right. So, Clark, we've established.
Let me tell you what happened to my brother. He had 5 kids, married, 5 kids, working 3 jobs. He figured out he could not possibly afford to send the kids to college. Mm-hmm. He told all the kids, you go to college if you want to, you're paying. The mother said, you better go to college. Kids started online business at the age of 14. By the time they were 18, they were earning enough money from their online business to pay for college.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to give the kid the problem.
Right.
Let him go find the solution. But you start handing him solutions without him even understanding that there is a problem, and you're going to get.
Right. Yeah. That's good advice. Yeah. So we've established clogged arteries. It repairs itself. And how does it? What kind of diet will encourage repairing those clogged arteries if there's a blockage?
A vegan, organic, unprocessed food diet.
Unprocessed food. I remember.
And that will reverse the clogs in about 3 months. And then you can start adding organic meats that are free of hormones and free of pesticides.
Okay.
And free of antibiotics.
Now, I remember you saying something about apple cider vinegar and was it cayenne pepper?
Yeah, that's good for an emergency, like when, you're in the throes of a heart attack.
Okay.
Oh my God, crushing pain,
heart attack.
sweat, terrible. So you take this and boom, heart attack is gone in usually about less time than it takes the ambulance to arrive.
Oh, so
Less than 20 minutes.
there's a certain amount they need to take, mixture like with the apple cider vinegar and the cayenne pepper?
Yes, 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper and a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar.
1/4 cup. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something they could just take whenever? Like, hey, this week I'm just going to drink some of this.
I would not.
Okay.
I would not. I would change the diet because the problem is if you rely on just taking that, you're living on the edge. You
Right.
need to change your lifestyle and pull yourself back from the edge.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, once again, announce your show again so people know where to find you and what products you have, your vitality capsules.
It's Healing with Dr. Daniels is the podcast, and it's available on Vimeo, YouTube, and Facebook. And I release a new episode 10 a.m. every Sunday.
Okay. So you no longer do a live show. You just do the pre-recorded shows.
Yeah, people can email their questions to jdaaniels@gmail.com. And my assistant gathers all the questions together, and I pick from those questions and I answer them, answer selected questions during my podcast. So the podcast is 1 hour, obviously not enough for to answer all the questions.
Right.
So I do also have appointments. People can go to vitalitycapsules.com and click appointments and make an appointment. I also have a free report, the Candida Cleaner, which people can get from my website. And it talks about the healing properties of turpentine and how to use it.
Right. You also have a home healers course, which I took, which I think is excellent.
Yes.
I'm going through all of the material, but it's really good for anybody who wants to take care of themselves without going to a doctor.
Put it real blunt. Anybody who wants to free themselves economically from the medical industrial complex. No more lab tests, no more doctor visits, no more ER visits, no more hospital visits, no more checkups, and no time wasted. You want to reclaim that time and that money into your life? This is the course for you.
Right. Now your discovery sessions are around what, 300 and
$397.
Okay.
Yeah, $397 or $349 depending. And people have really solved amazing problems with that. They prevented surgery. One lady, in fact, she was going to make an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And she went into my archives of radio shows, listened to them, found the answer to her condition, implemented it, cured herself, then went and paid for the discovery session and said, I'm not going to keep the appointment because you cured me with your radio shows. I want you to give this appointment to someone else who can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how powerful the information is.
Right. Now, for all of those people that, like, I've gotten a comment that was expensive, and this is how I.
Hey, go to the archives. Go to the archives and listen to them and educate yourself, and you can do it.
I said this. I said, you go to the doctor. Do you know those average visits are very expensive? They're more than $397, and you're not being fixed. And he only sees you for about 5 minutes, and then he's on to his next patient. That's just my experience.
Correct. I give you a full half hour.
Right.
Exactly. Get a full
Then
half
he
hour.
don't even know. He said, well, try this. He gives you a prescription, try this, and tell me how it works. That's basically what happens.
Right.
Here you're talking about a detailed, straight to the point answers to your issues.
Correct.
I think that's a drop in the bucket compared to the alternatives.
Not only that, people generally save hundreds of dollars. One lady I talked to had liver cancer. I'm like, oh my God, liver cancer. That's pretty hopeless. But we got on the appointment. I asked her what drug she was taking. She was taking one drug that causes outright liver cancer straight up, and 6 drugs that impair and harm the liver.
Mm.
I said, lady, look, and she'd been taking these drugs for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to stop at least 3 of them and taper the other 4.
Mm-hmm.
But she was ready to embark on a natural healing program and continue her drugs. I said, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You can't keep slicing yourself with a knife and ask someone to apply aloe leaves, and you're still getting sliced.
Right.
So you've got to stop this thing that you're doing. And then she had a diet that was just feeding the whole problem. We adjusted her diet. But, the first thing you've got to do is get to the bottom of what is causing this problem. Don't ask for a pill for your headache. Stop hitting yourself in the head with a hammer.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's what I find. Like listening to your show, I find a lot of people have difficulty at first to give up the doctor's advice. They're programmed, hardwired, not really hardwired, but they have hardwired.
No. It's like your daughter getting straight A's. That is so dangerous because she's getting straight A's, memorizing 100% hearsay. She is not asking that teacher for a shred of evidence that anything a teacher is teaching is true. Right. She's being trained to be gullible. So A is a gullibility rating. Your daughter has an A+ gullibility rating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, she hear me talking about here a lot about stuff.
No, just ask her. Say, what teacher teach you today? Teacher taught me 2 + 2 is 4.
Mm-hmm.
Just say to her, can you think of an example where 2 + 2, or 1 + 1 is 2? And you say to her, give me 3 examples where 1 + 1 is not 2. She'll say, what? Give me 3 examples where 1 + 1 is not 2.
Mm-hmm.
She'll say, Dad, you stupid. That teacher said 1 + 1 is 2. You say, okay, I got you. Mm-hmm. Put together a lion and a gazelle. 1 + 1 is how many? 1, because the lion's going to eat the gazelle.
Right.
All right. Put together a lion and a lioness. 1 + 1, what you going to get? 2 cubs plus 2 adults. That's 4.
Right.
Okay. There's so many examples all around us where 1 + 1 is absolutely not 2. And your daughter is being taught this. And you ask her, is 1 + 1 2? You say, yeah, Dad. You say, when is 1 + 1 not 2? She'll say, never. Now you know you got an idiot right there. Done.
Right.
They got her locked down. So just having her go through that exercise at home every day. What'd you learn in class today? Well, I learned that World War I was started because somebody got shot in the head.
Hearsay.
Okay, got that.
Mm-hmm.
No. Can you think of any other reason why a bunch of countries might have gone to war and spent millions of dollars? Really? People are shot every day in Detroit. People get shot in the head. How come there ain't no big war?
Right.
Really? So the thing you have to teach her to say, okay, teacher might be right, but give me 5 other plausible explanations for what she told you.
Right.
And then you can ask her, we got 6 explanations here. You have a life where you plan to grow up, take care of yourself, and have a family. Is any of this information going to help you with that? No. She just wasted your time.
I tell her
she wasted your time.
I say that it doesn't, because none of the stuff I went to school and learned, I'm using it right now. It was stuff.
Correct. None of it. In fact, if you go back, it's not even true. Because
Right.
I went to Harvard. So Harvard, the first month, they review everything K through 12 that you learn, everything, just to make sure we're all on the same page. I'm like, holy crap. I mean, everything I learned K through 12 could have been taught in 1 month. And the thing is, you're wasting her time even driving her to school, driving her to extracurricular activities. You need to tell her, if this is so important, you need to get a job and pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get to cheerleading practice. What's it going to cost? Get a job and pay for it. Make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Have her right now understand the true cost of her education. And then say, what did you learn today that's going to teach you to be healthier? Okay, great. You're going to put it into practice. Oh, you learned to use condoms. Great. Who are you having sex with? Oh, nobody will lose that information.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you learn today? Let's put it to use right now, right now. We're going to put it to use right now in this house. We're going to put it to use and see if it can help us live a better life. Oh, it can't. Well, why don't we just dismiss it? Are you okay with having your time wasted like this? Your youth? And then you can say to her, it's all about you being able to take care of yourself. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, learn how to sew on a button, save you $20 in tailoring fees.
Mm-hmm.
Here, learn how to sew a skirt. Learn how to build a 20 by 20 foot room. Let's go. Let's get to work.
Mm-hmm.
And if it interferes with your homework, you tell a teacher you've been busy. And sorry, you couldn't get the homework done. Maybe tomorrow.
That's true. Well, I remember there was my daughter's mom. She was a teacher. She was teaching.
Yeah.
And she had a kid in her class where the father couldn't read.
Correct.
Right? Now, this guy owned multiple businesses.
Correct.
But he couldn't help her with her homework. You see what I'm saying? And
But he shouldn't have helped her with her homework. He should have told her, here, come with me in these businesses. Let me show you some homework. But he didn't. And so he got a worthless kid who can't even run the businesses.
Right. And that's
what I had.
Right.
I had 3 kids. Not one of them can run my business. I even said, I will show you how. No. They all went to college against my advice.
Right. I got boys, and I try to show them what I do. Hey, listen, people pay for information. They want information.
No. It's again, you have not demonstrated a problem to him. Your kids don't have a problem. They don't have a problem that your advice can solve. First of all, are they married?
No. Mm-mm.
You didn't tell them, dude, you want to get a girl? You need to earn more money. Let me show you how.
Yeah.
You got to figure out a problem they have and how your information, whatever it might be, is a solution.
Mm-hmm.
So my daughter's 32 now, not married.
Right.
But when she first got out of college, she wasn't able to pay her bills.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't able to repay the loan, nothing. But she didn't feel like she had a problem because she was able, just got 4 roommates, and she would just ask her roommates, tell them, oh, I can't make rent this month, can you let me slide, blah, 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 blah. She thought she was just being a good person. And finally it got uncomfortable. People said, well, you need to pay your rent. And they told her, when you don't pay your rent, I have to go and borrow money to make the rent payment because my name is on the lease. Right. And then when she realized how she was harming her friends and her relationships, then she got a job enough to pay her rent. She got a job making salads. Mm. Master's degree, job making salads. All right. Now she had just enough to pay rent. And she couldn't even really buy her own food. She had to eat salads at the salad place. Mm-hmm. Then she realized, oh, I don't have enough money to go places my friends are inviting me to go. Now she's got a job earning more money where now she can go places with her friends. She can pay her part of the rent with her 4 roommates. And so now she can meet all of her immediate needs, money left over. Well, now she's thinking, well, wait, now I'd like a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Boyfriends are very expensive. You guys don't realize that, but you're very expensive. So girls feel, which is not true, but they have to fix their hair, get makeup, do this, blah, 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 to feel pretty. And that's about at least $500, probably $1,000 a month. Mm-hmm. So now, now she has to earn more money. But until she had a problem that she needed to solve, my advice fell on dead ears. Totally dead ears.
So give them a problem to solve.
No, they already have a problem. You have to find the problem.
Right.
You have to point out, you have to identify the problem. So talk to your kid, figure out what problem he has. Yeah. Well, did your bachelor's degree solve that problem? It didn't. It might be a solution. Would you be interested in a solution?
Right.
I mean, trial close, right? Trial close.
Mm-hmm.
Qualify your prospect. This is not that, no, I'm not interested. Okay. Back up. Now, I can look at my daughter's life and I can give her quick solutions, which I gave her 5 years ago. But 5 years ago, she was not receptive. I told her, you want to meet a wealthy guy? Go to a boat show. Go to a motorcycle show. Because a motorcycle is your second or third or fourth vehicle. This is where you meet guys with time and money.
Mm-hmm.
I told her this at least 5 years ago. Now she's thinking, no, maybe I'll go to a boat show. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And don't buy a ticket to the boat show. No. Don't do that. Volunteer to hand out flyers. That way you meet every single guy walking by. Every single guy gets to see you. And he has got no illusions that you have money because you're handing out the flyers. You didn't even pay for a ticket to be there. So you're going to attract the guys who are not deadbeats.
Mm-hmm. Right. There you go. Relationship advice. All right, Dr. Daniels, I got another important.
That's emergency advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got to be, if there's no problem that they want to solve, forget it.
Right.
All right, wonderful. It's been great talking to you. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. All right. You have a good day. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.